So we're on live tonight. It is not a little after 9, and I want y'all to come in. Just want to give a recap of today. So I'm gonna just give y'all a few moments right now, and we'll be talking with you in just a moment. Thank you for coming in. Just let us know who's watching. You're watching with us right now. We are glad that you're on live. Let us know where you watching from. Share tag others. We just want to give a brief recap on the message today, and I just want to share this with you. This recap in a few moments, and I'm gonna jump on, jump off. I don't even know if we'll keep this video up. How long it'll be up? We'll see. We'll cross that bridge. Just let us know. Thank you for liking. Thank you for loving. Thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Well, at this moment, we're just going to go right there. Those that join us for Zoom today, we was in worship on Zoom. We were not in person today, and appreciate everybody that came to our Zoom worship experience today. The word, the worship experience, the prayer, the testimonies were a blessing. And so we are grateful tonight that we're just going to recap what we shared. Um, Someone asked towards the end, would we have a link for this to be shared with others? And we looked, and no, we couldn't share it because we had not um, recorded it. We had just gave what God gave us, and it was after the fact. So um, again, we see a few of you on. Sister Crystal Berry, greetings. God bless you. Let me know who else is watching. And I just want to, again, give just a couple highlights. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know you're on. But we started a series last week. And the series, well, we didn't know it would be a series. Let's just say we gave the first installment last week, and we were impressed to give a second installment this week. Last week, we gave the word don't settle. This week we did part two, don't settle. Part two was keep going, keep going. And what we dealt with it was in Genesis 11 and 31 as well. We were at from 27 on to 27 verse 11 chapter through to he, Hebrews. We did talk about Hebrews, but Genesis 12 and 4. So what happened is it's a lot of times that we settle because of things in life that happens. We settle. We can be started. We can get started on our way to where we were on a drive to. Minister Nancy, thank you for coming in. Dr. Miles, thank you for coming in. uh, And a lot of times, and I'm not going to try to uh, represent, but I just want to just go over a couple points. A lot of times we settle, we start off, we see how Tarak, Abraham's father, started out. He was leaving Ur of Chaldees, and he was leaving Ur on his way to Canaan. But for some reason, he got stuck and stayed and dwelt in a place called Haran. When you look at Genesis, the 11th chapter, actually go to the 27th verse, you realize that Terach had three sons, Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Amazingly, when he left with Abram, Abram's wife Sarai, Lot, and himself, he left because Lot's father, Haran, had died. But where does he stop? Where does he go? He goes to a place called Haran. Isn't it ironic that he left a place where his son died, where Haran, his son, died, and he dies in a place called Haran, which gave me the understanding and revelation that sometimes we can leave a place, but we still have things attached. We still have things in our heart. We still have the same mindset. And sometimes we can leave a place. He left the place where his son died, but still took the issue where he was. We don't know why Tarak stayed in Haran, because he was on his way to Canaan. He was on his way to the promise. But Tarak died in a place where he wasn't supposed to go. Overseer Roberts, God bless you, man. So in short terms, sometimes we stop, and if we're not careful, we die in a place that was only supposed to be temporary. And so a lot of times we'll stay in a place that was supposed to be temporary, and we'll stay too long in a place that's supposed to be temporary. We'll stay forever, and we'll die in a place that was supposed to be temporary, not terminal. Temporary, not terminal. And what God does is he doesn't stop with Tarak. Because I believe somewhere, it's not in scripture, but I believe Tarak was on his way to Canaan for a reason. God gave him some inspiration, some drive within. We don't have understand. We don't. It doesn't say in the word that they had a relationship with our God, the God of Abraham. All we know is Tarak was moving his family, his grandson, his son, and his wife. The four of them were leaving. But we find out that he gets to Haran and stays there. He stays there. And what happened is he died in Haran. But the story doesn't end at Genesis 11:31 or 32. We actually have to go to the next chapter to find out what's taking place. And what taking place is God tells Abram, I want you to get out of your country. I want you to get out from your kindred, out of your father's house, and go to the place I show you. Go to the place where I show you. What God does is he tells us that these places, these things, these three things meant something. And when God was calling Abraham out of his country, out of his kindred, and out of his father's house, it was threefold. It represented the country represented the environment that shaped him. Then it was the kindred, which represents relationships and attachments. And then we have his father's house, which represents generational limits and inherited identity. Can you imagine all three of those areas restricting him from becoming? Yes, because that was not the place that God intended for them to go in the first place. I really believe that. That was not the place God intended. And where the father stopped, the son had to pick up. And sometimes you're going to, oh, yes, Lord, you're going to pick up the baton from where your foreparents, your grandparents, your parents, your ancestors, where they drop the ball, you going to pick up, run on. You're going to pick up the baton and say, hey, I can't stop here. Why? Because we can't settle here. Haran is not the place we're supposed to settle. And sometimes we settle because of the environment. It is what has been made comfortable. And we've gotten comfortable and we've gotten complacent. But what happens is we have to have a renewing of the mind. Romans 12:2 says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. The renewing of your mind causes you then to go to Colossians 3:2 and set your affections on things above and not on things of this earth. Because if we get caught up into the environment, into the country, into what made us and how we became, we're not careful, it will define our destiny. It will define our destiny. So therefore, we can't get caught up into what the environment defining us, because if you leave it up to humanity and your environment to define you, they will ultimately refine you. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful of allowing our affections um to be on of the earth, or things of the earth, or the affection of things above. And I would rather us look above. I would rather us look into the eternal, because these things are not going to last. And so not only that, but our relationships, kindred, our relationships, our attachments, sometimes what we are attached to, who we are connected with, is not going to push us into destiny. Sometimes they will constrain us from destiny. Don't you know some connections will help you, and then there are some connections that will hold you. And you got to be careful, because some connections aren't meant to build you up. Some are designed from hell to distract you and to hold you, not only define you, refine you, but constrain you. Come on, somebody. You got to watch your connections. Your connections mean everything. Then he said, your father's house. And so, what he was telling us, you can't allow corruption. You can't allow the sin of your father to cause you to miss the promise. First Peter 1:18 says, for as much you as ye know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things. Why? From your vain conversation, you receive tradition from your fathers. There are some things that are passed down, but you got to stop it. Just because your grandparents did it, don't mean it's right for you to do. Just because your ancestors did it, don't make it right for you to do. But Ezekiel 18:2 tells us that the fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. Then it says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. Understanding, corruption, sin, the sin nature passed down from Adam all the way to us will keep us from getting to our destiny. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Where Tarak stopped, Abraham could have stopped, would have stopped, but God called him out of that place. He called him out of that place of frustration. He called him out of that place of anxiety. He called him out of that low place, out of that place of constraint and restraint. He called him out of that place of confinement. Again, let me correct that. And I think I said earlier, if you allow humanity and your situation to define you, they will refine you. Now, yeah, they will refine you, good or bad or indifferent. They will refine you, but they will confine you. And I use the word constraint. And I want you to know, we can't allow things to confine us. God is not trying to get us stuck. It was never his intention for you to be stuck. It was never his intention for you to stay and build a house in Haran, when he said, I'm bringing you to the promise. Not only am I bringing you to the promise, but I'm bringing you to manifestation. Can somebody put that in the chat and say manifestation? Manifestation. Yeah. To rock stop where Abram was called to complete. So what he Terach didn't finish. This is Abraham's father. What he did not finish, what Terach did not finish, Abraham was called to finish. I don't know what you've been called to do. I don't know what your family has stopped, what your friends have stopped, or those before you in leadership, whether in you in the marketplace that you have stopped, or the person before you that got in that was in that position that you're in now, what they stopped. But you have to press on. Why? Because there are things that we're going to have to move by faith. We're going to have to move by faith. We have to operate in faith. When we operate in faith, God said, I'm going to cause you to see the land of promise. And that land of promise is going to take you to, that is going to bring manifestation. You're going to the place of manifestation. Uh, uh, Again, I'm just trying to cover a couple points. Philippians 1:6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it. There's a performance that is coming. There's a manifestation. There's a fulfillment that's coming. Be confident of that thing. Your destiny doesn't end with those who quit. It continues with those who obey. So there's some people that will quit. There's some people that will walk out of your life. You can't stop. You got to obey God. You got to obey God. Don't settle in Haran. Philippians 3:13 and 14 says, forgetting those things which are behind, but pressing toward the mark of the high calling of Jesus Christ. We're pressing. Why? Because Isaiah tells us, remember not the former things. Remember ye not the former things. Behold, I will do a new thing. God is ready to do a new thing in you, but you cannot settle. You cannot settle. You cannot settle. Haran is not your home. Haran is not your promise. Haran is not your destiny. So don't die in Haran. Don't build a house. Don't settle there, because that is not what God called you to do. He said, I need you to go into the things that I've already put in your mind. I've already put in your spirit. He put Genesis 12:1 there. He said, I need you to move. And Abraham did not delay. He did not wait till it felt good. He did not wait till it looked good. He did not wait till it felt good or looked good to do. He did not delay. He did not negotiate with God and say, well, if you do this, then I'll do it. You know, we've said that. We'll try to negotiate with God. Yes. And sometimes God don't show us the sacrifice of what we were going to experience. Oh God, I feel God all over again. Mm. We, 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 if we understood what God was doing and how he was going to do it, we probably would have had a battle and saying, "Let me hold off. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna hold off." And with your heart and your mind, you would say, "You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it." But it took you some time. But there is a place in God you have to get to where it's immediate obedience. Immediate obedience. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Immediate, immediate obedience. Immediate obedience. God says, I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to show you. He said, don't delay. Abram didn't delay. He did not negotiate. He just moved. And what happens? Sometimes in the movement, frustration will come. Thank you, Brother Stefan. Um, you know, movement, when we're obeying God, our obedience, you don't need a sacrificial offering because your obedience is faith unto God. Your obedience to God, what he shows you. He said here in Hebrews 10:35, away. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence. Don't throw it away. Don't mismanage your confidence. Don't allow the devil to talk you out of things that God talked you into. Come on. Because why? Which have great recompense of reward. There is a good side. There is a silver lining. There is a bright side coming. But you got to stick to what God told you. You got to stick to what God showed you. I understand, because Can you imagine Abram? And this is one of the points that came up. And if anybody here that was on the live earlier and you know these points, or some points that stuck out to you that was shared, go ahead and write it in the chat, and we'll talk about it. But what happened is Isaiah tells us he giveth power to the faint. He gives power to the faint. 40 and 29, then 40 and 31, he said, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. The frustration will come, and it will cause you to be fatigued. It will cause you to have no energy, no zeal, no passion. But here's what God will do out of your obedience. This is not the first time we see Abraham obeying God. He's telling him to do something, he moves immediately. The Lord tells Abraham, that he's going to make out of the a great nation, and he's going to have a great name, and out of the blessing, he's going to be a blessing, and he's going to be a blessing to all the families of the earth. And out of this, can you imagine Abraham being getting a promise, 75 years old, getting a promise that, okay, God's going to bless, God's going to do this, God's going to do that. And then it takes all these years for it to happen, all of this stuff to happen for it to come to pass. Once he get about 100, now the promise is here. Now we got his illegitimate son Ishmael, and then we have his legitimate son Isaac. What happens? What happens? God tells him, now I want you, I want Abraham at this point, I want you to take your son up to the mountain, and I want you to offer him as a sacrifice. That right there. You mean all these years, all this dilemma, I have to deal with Ishmael and his mother and Sarah and all the anguish, all the stuff between. Oh, that was just chaotic. That was just chaotic. And what happens is now he's at a point, he has a son, he has Isaac, and you're telling me to sacrifice, to offer my son the promise, who is the legitimate seed. You're telling me I have to end his life. I have to offer him up. What did God do? What did God do? What did God do? What did God do? God had a ram in the bush, that to the point the son Isaac was like, Dad, you got the wood, you got the fire, you got the knife, but I don't see a lamb. I don't see nothing. What we gonna sacrifice? Where's the sacrifice? Where's the sacrificial lamb? Where is the sacrifice? Abraham tells him, look, we just gonna go up, but we coming, God's gonna provide. God is gonna provide. By the time he gets to the top of the mountain, by the time he sets the stage for the sacrifice, he lays out the wood. He gets his son up there, and he has his knife. And as soon as he's about to take his life, God says, no, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. I see your faith. I see your faith through obedience. And obedience to God is faith. And that's a rough place to go to sometimes, because had we seen the frustration of what we was going to have to deal with in between the promise being given and the promise manifesting, we would have not, some of us would not have said, yes, Lord. But I'm telling you, once you give God your yes and you obey God, I'm telling you, the fight will come. The fight will come, and will cause you want to retreat and go hide and let me disappear. The enemy he's cunning, he's swift, but he can never outdo God. He can never outdo God. He can never outdo God. And what happens? Abraham gets there, and to that point, God said, I see your sacrifice. He looks over in the bush. There is a ram in the bush. I'm telling you, when you obey God, God will have a ram in the bush. Who's going to say that tonight? Who's going to put that in the chat? That God has a ram in the bush for me. He has a ram in the bush because of your obedience. There's a ram in the bush. You don't see it right now. You don't believe it right now, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. God said, I'm taking you. And so you're going to go further. You're going to break cycles. You're going to finish what others abandoned. You will enter your destiny. You will not settle. Why? Because Canaan is calling. Canaan is calling. Canaan. I thought of the song as we were ending our Zoom, and the word of this old song in the Holiness Church, Apostolic Church, Pentecostal Church that I'm used to. This is the song. Now, I'm not going to sing it. I'm on my way to Canaan land. I'm on my way to Canaan land. I'm on my way to Canaan land. Thank God I'm on my way. I need somebody to declare that on this live that you're on your way to Canaan. You're on your way to the promise. And it's going to manifest. Don't settle. Don't settle. I got to challenge you today, tonight, not to settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Haran is not where God wants you to be. Haran is just the place of it's a reminder of the hurt that you experience in Ur. Come on, somebody. Yes, yes, you're on your way to the promise. You're on your way. I'm on my way to Canaan land. I'm on my way to Canaan land. I'm on my way to Canaan land. Thank God I'm on my way. Look, I just wanted to give a recap of today. And certainly the Lord met us on that Zoom. And I'm telling you tonight that God is meeting you right where you are. There's a ram. Just be faithful. And you're going to have to get yourself out of this negative self talk. You're going to have to talk yourself the scriptures. You're going to have to pray the scriptures. You're going to have to speak the scriptures. You're going to have to say, yeah, he that had begun a good work, he's going to perform it. He's going to manifest it. It's going to happen. And I tell you, you will go through some moments and you just feel like throwing in the towel, turning in the keys, giving your resignation. But I'm telling you, don't walk away. God said, don't settle. That's what he told me. He said, don't settle, don't settle, don't settle. He spoke this word to me over a month ago. And it's just been, he just repeats it to me. Don't settle, don't settle. Things of God. I don't know what you're waiting on. I don't know what your Haran look like. I don't know what that place has been to you, but I'm telling you, it's not meant for you to stay in Haran. It's not meant for you to live in Haran and stay there. It's time to progress. Time to move forward. Brothers and sisters, I pray these few moments have been a blessing to you. All right. May God bless you. Meet us. Meet us on Wednesday night, Word on Wednesday, as we review some things on our church's page. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. If you're watching on my personal page, go to New Harvest Temple page and stay connected. Look, I'm telling you right now, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. I ended. Love you too, Sister Berry. We ended the word today in our service today. And I heard this question a couple weeks ago, and it hit me, even in regards to not settling. And sometimes we have questions on when God's going to move, how he's going to move, what it's going to look like when he move, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes we have the faith in God saying, God is going to move. We know God is going, he's able to do. We have no problem believing he's able to do, exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or think. We have no problem believing he can do it. Sometimes the question is, will he do it for me? Brothers and sisters, I'm praying for you. Don't settle. He's going to do it for you. We love you. We appreciate you. Hey, God bless you. Till we meet again, I don't see no questions. So I see quite a few statements. God bless y'all. Thank you, Brother Stefan, Sister Crystal, Barry, Overseer Darrell Roberts, Minister Nancy, First Lady Shelby, my love, Dr. Jasmia, Miles. Thank y'all all for coming in. And we appreciate you. Look, share this with somebody. Let them know. Don't get stuck. Let them know. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. You can't settle in Iran. Others might have died in Iran, but you cannot. You built that house in Iran. God said, it's greater. Greater is waiting on you. Right, saints. We appreciate you. May God richly bless you. Share this. If this has been a blessing to you, this has been encouraging. I wish we would have saved that Zoom or recorded that Zoom, but hey, the word was sown. And I'm challenging every one of us. Don't settle. Don't settle. I have more to say at a later time regarding this message and perhaps another installment or two, whatever the Lord says, whenever He releases me to release that word. But may God bless you real good. I believe you're on God's mind. You're on God's mind. And He don't want you to settle. All right. Peace. Love you.